good morning. Good day, Sacramento. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Okay, so today, the first Wednesday of November is National Stress Awareness Day, if you didn't know. It also happens to come after an election day every 2 years, right? But we have Dr. Sarah, okay, I'm gonna get this right, Agha Mohammadi? Perfect. Yes, thank you. Okay, the Chief Wellness Officer from UC Davis Health. I asked you to come in to talk about, obviously, the stress that can appear not only because of an election and a political season, but the holidays coming up, all of it. So, best ways to, once you've identified that you've been stressed, kind of de-stress. What would you suggest for this?
Such a great question, because stress is always going to be a part of our lives, right? There's gonna be great times, bad times, and how we choose to deal with it is really going to make a difference in terms of how you're going to be able to get through the next high, the next low. So it's different for every person. What I would recommend are some basic things like tuning back into your breath. Breathing helps you relieve tension, releases some of that tension, helps you think more clearly. Also, taking care of your body. Right? Moving your body, even just for short periods of time, making sure you're getting enough sleep. And
that is such a hard one.
Right?
Especially with everyone staying up all night.
Exactly. And a good night's sleep is such a game changer, right? And what you're putting into your body in terms of nutrition and comfort foods aren't bad, but obviously everything in moderation. And then lastly is just to get out of your head. So whether that's talking to someone that you trust, a friend, a therapist, or if you're not a talker, journaling helps you kind of make sense of the thoughts and the emotions in a way that now looks logical to you, and you can actually start to even problem solve once you write it out.
I think in today's world, a lot of people use things like social media as a way to check out. The constant scrolling, right? Sometimes can be just like, okay, I'm gonna check out of my job and I'm just gonna scroll, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna do something mindless. But right now, that could actually be a place of stress when you're not even seeking it out. So what would you say in regards to social media, being online right now, just recommend against for how best to handle it?
Social media is one of those things that we love to hate, but it's such a part of our lives, right? It's information at our fingertips. And, if you can, and I know this is hard, taking a break can be really helpful, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, put your phone down, put it on silent, and go do anything else. And then if you must, or if you feel the pull, really choosing wisely what kind of media you consume. So rather than just falling victim to your algorithm, maybe choose to look at photos of your favorite puppy influencer.
There we go.
Or your own memories of things that bring you joy. Being very conscious of what you choose to kind of consume media-wise can really make a difference.
And finally, we're almost out of time, but kids. Identifying stress in your children at different ages can look different for different families, but how best, in an overall answer, I guess, to handle making sure your kiddos are okay during stressful times, especially with holidays coming up, all the things?
Well, I think one of the great opportunities with this is that children are looking to us for examples, right? And so this is such a great teachable moment of showing them that, parents can have big emotions, and how we choose to move through those emotions is how they're gonna learn how to do that. So that can even be something you can do together. Maybe you do breathing exercises together. Maybe you participate in an activity outdoors or something that just brings you joy, and you get to do it with them together. And then they can learn through example how they can manage emotions, big, small, whatever it is that comes through their lives.
Because we're all gonna have stress. You can't avoid it all altogether. It's how we handle it. By the way, real quickly, what do you do to relieve your stress?
So I perform improv comedy at the Sacramento Comedy Spot.
I love
Thank you. It is what fills my cup. It is what brings me joy, and it just rejuvenates me after, whatever day I've had. It brings me back to life.
I'm going to get the dates you're going to be up and doing this.
I
would love to come support. All right. And finally, as I send it back to you, and I'm going to ask you the same question. My stress reliever is getting out in the mountains, getting out outside in nature. Courtney and John, what do you do to relieve stress?
Animals. I love animals.
Yes,
I do. So like my dogs, but then I also have friends who have horses, and
so I like to go.
Love that. Yes.
I like to run.
Oh,
I
that's
always feel better after a run.
Yeah.
I don't look like it, but I do.
Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We could have talked about this for 3 hours, but some great tips at least to let you go out the door today with a couple more ideas on how to de-stress.
As Whitley Gilbert from Different World would say, relax, relate, release. Why?